to the 2021 Founders Day Weekend Honoree celebration. I have the pleasure of sitting and interviewing one of the church's most historic pastors, our second longest tenured pastor, Evangelist-at-Large Isaac W. Artis Jr., who also serves as the chairman of the Presbytery Board. Enjoy. Evangelist-at-Large, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you coming to meet with me.
Thank you, sir, for inviting me.
My pleasure. It brings back a lot of memories. As you know, I grew up in this church, literally. I was almost born in this room, so it brings back a lot of memories for me.
Well, do you remember that aisle?
Oh, yeah.
What you remember special about this aisle here?
Well, for those of you that don't know, I couldn't quite march down it too well. You said I had two left feet, so I couldn't quite keep on beat. But man, realistically, you're the reason that I've learned how to march, how I learned how to keep time. I'll just tell this story real quick. Then you spent countless hours with me after services. Now we'd be in here all day, all night sometimes, and you would just march up and down these floors. It was a different set of floors back then, but we would march and you would just drill into me those cadences and that precision and that discipline and working with me. I can't thank you enough because one, I can remember being over in that corner and that was the first time I picked up and blew a trumpet, which altered the rest of my life. So how about that?
No, the thanks is not from you to me, it's from me to you. I thank you because all the time that I invested in helping you, I just helped bring something out in you that was there all the time. But I saw it when you was a little boy. I saw it, you know. First time you picked up that trumpet and blew it, I heard that sound. He's going to be good. I tell your father, say, he's going to be good. He said, well, he can't march. I said, well, I'll work with him.
You did.
And I want to thank you because I found out later that you become drum majors of bands and everything, you know,
Yes, sir.
in high school and college. So, you know, don't thank me. I thank you.
Everybody wants to know, man, how did you come up? We always talk about the old country boy from Virginia. Well, what are the grassroots of that old country boy?
Well, I'll tell you what really happened is that my father and my mother was at my grandmother's house, right? It was 2-story. And she said she didn't feel well and she was going upstairs to rest. And on the way upstairs, a little baby boy was born. Right on the steps.
Wow.
And so what's so unique about it is that my grandmother even cut my biblical cord.
Right there on the steps.
Right there on the step in the house.
Man.
Cut it and tied it up. And mine looked better than a whole lot of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. Her name was Della Hall, out of Suffolk, Virginia, hamlet of Pewsville.
Okay.
She took me and my sister Barbara and raised us because the other part of the family was on the Plummer side.
Gotcha.
So we ended up over here on what we call the Dickerson side, which was the best thing that ever could have happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, as time went by, I got tired of living in Virginia. Right?
Yeah.
I got tired of pumping water, chopping trees, you know.
The old outhouse and
Yeah,
stuff.
all that. I just got so tired of that stuff. And one day it was a sawmill not too far from the house. I went up and asked the man, could I have a job?
What age was that?
9.
So you've been in the workforce since you were 9 years old.
Yeah, so he said, when you come from school, Sonny, just come on up here. And it was a chain that when they cut the lemon, the sawdust from the wood, the chain would take it up, and it was real high up in the air. But the pulley up there that kept bringing the sawdust used to always get stuck. So he said, I need somebody that go up there and knock it down and have enough knockdown so we can work a whole day without it clogging. So that evening he gave me the job, and I went up there and knocked it out.
Man.
And when next day I came back up there, they had worked all day, but the Lord was in it, so it didn't go that high. So I just kept knocking it out. And I worked there for about 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
Then I got a paycheck. He gave me a paycheck, and I went home and I gave my grandmother all the money. She kept all the money. Right?
The grandmother tax, huh?
Yeah. So the next week I worked up there. I worked all week long. When Friday came, you know, I used to take my bike and ride up there and do my little work, and then he paid me. And in those times, they used to go to church like early. Right? They didn't go to church like sunset. You know, and they was in church, partying, having a good time, testifying and singing.
Gotcha.
And the devil got in me. The devil said, why don't you ride your bike down to the city of Portsmouth and buy your ticket on the Greyhound. I'm 10 years old now. And go to Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, of all places.
Yeah. But Newark was where they had to pass over it.
Okay.
So I used to know in April how we used to take the Greyhound bus.
You knew the route.
Yeah. You could get a straight through bus, or you could go to DC and get a changing bus. So I went down there and said, when is a straight through bus? And he told me 8 something. So I bought my ticket.
They still be in church.
Yeah, they still out there hollering and singing, right? Got my ticket, went to the store and bought me a piece of bologna, about that thick.
Yes.
Right? Piece of bologna and some cheese, same thick, and a Pepsi Cola, big Pepsi, and some crackers. You know, went to my bike, took my little knife out, because I wanted to protect myself.
Right.
And got on the bus. The bus brought me to New Jersey.
And I ain't looked back since.
I got off that bus, and I knew Newark so well that I was able to get out at Penn Station in Newark and walk to my aunt's house on Sherman Avenue. At 10 years old.
10 years old. Oh, wow.
You know, and the funny thing, I was scared to go to sleep on the bus, you know, because I was on there by myself. I had my little, by the window, and I had my little knife out over there, right? So I was saying to myself, hey, there's somebody there, I'm gonna stick with my friend. But you know, the Lord take care of babies and fools. I'm a true example of that. I'm telling you, the Lord took care of me, and when I knocked on the door, right, my aunt said, "Who is it?" I say, "It's Ike." They said, "Ike?" They used to call me Ike boy. Ike boy? I said, "You know." My uncle said, "Who's that?" She said, "Ike boy." So she opened the door and saw me and fell out.
You shocked that old lady, huh?
Fell right out on the floor. He came down there. Boy, where you came from? Then he trying to, you know, gave her some water and everything, right? And then she woke up, she crying and rocking and stuff, right? And holding me, and I'm crying, and he crying, everybody crying. Well, you know, they got to go to church. Say, where did you come from? I say, the bus station. She said, the bus station? She said, you got on that bus and rode all night by yourself? Thought about it. I said, yes, ma'am. She didn't go to church that day. My uncle went. She just sat there and cried all day long and praying.
Yeah.
And, and brought me in there. She would hold me and pray for me too. I said, I'm all right, but I just can't. I just don't like Virginia. I don't like Virginia.
Yeah. So you came up to Newark.
I came to Newark.
And you stayed with your aunt, your uncle
I
there?
stayed with my aunt and uncle.
Okay.
Until I became a grown man.
Gotcha.
I went to school here. Started out at Middle Street.
Okay.
Middle Street. I went to South Side.
Oh, outside. Yeah. All right. That's a historic school there.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Everybody went there, and and I grew up in the church. And when I got to Newark, the Newark church was like day and night from the church in Virginia.
Oh, really?
Like,
what were some of those differences?
Everything was different.
Wow.
Everything was different, the spirit was different. I think the main thing what intrigued me was that the head bishop was the pastor in Newark.
Gotcha.
Bishop
John at that point.
Bishop John was the pastor in Newark. And when I first went to church, he called me up down with us to talk to him. Oh, hell, Bishop. He said, oh, hell, son. He said, I know you. He said, ain't you St. Della's grandson?
He knew you.
Right?
Wow.
I said, yes, sir. He said, well, your grandmother looking for you. I said, okay. So then he went in there and talked with my aunt in there, and then, I guess he must have put the seal of his approval on it.
Settled it up.
Yeah, so, and they talked to my grandmother, and first she was hollering about she was going to come and get me. And she did come and get me.
Okay.
Right? But in those days, they had houses that had basements.
Oh, boy.
But the kitchen was just the ground floor under the kitchen. And there was a window from the basement that went under the kitchen. So when I heard her voice, I went in the basement and climbed through the window, closed the window.
You out of there.
And I just laid under the kitchen. Right? And they up there crying and looking for me, right? And when they went to bed, I came from under the kitchen. Went upstairs, got me some food, right? I went back under the kitchen. Right?
Got back in your spot.
Right. And the only person who knew I was under there was my uncle.
He ain't rat you out.
He right there.
Oh, man, that's a good guy. That's a good guy.
He opened the window up one day, right? And he had like a care package. Some food and soda and potato chips and stuff. Sure. He said, what's in there? I said, oh, it get cold down here. Like,
Get blanket.
yeah, he brought me an army blanket and a pillow.
Oh, man, that's a good guy.
Yeah. I love Uncle Arthur. I love him for that, And I think what happened is they never had any kids of their own.
Gotcha.
And so here I come along, okay.
Bring some life in the home.
My mother said, well, they're looking for me, right? And every time they say we're gonna call the police, my uncle would say, no, you don't have to call the police, I'll find them. And he said, sister, you need to go back home, and take care of Benny with my grandfather. So she said, okay, I'll go back home. He brought me out from
Come on
under
out the kitchen.